Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, you all, I'm going to scout some new hunting territory. I'm going to go to the top of Rich Mountain over here in Bland County, Virginia. I haven't never been in this part of the mountain before. I'm going to look and see if we can find some deer sign. I know that we can, but what I've done is I've drove as far up into this private property as I can. And then we'll head over into, eventually over into the National Forest. So go with me on this journey. I took the Google Maps and I looked at it, and it looks like from this point it's only right at 0.7 of a mile to the top, but that's straight line. So if you don't mind going with me, go with me on this little journey, and we will see what it looks like in this part of the mountain, and I hope we see some animals. So let's go on up the mountain. So I'll give you guys a shot of what it looks like on this farm right here. But we're going to go up to the top of this mountain right here. Now, y'all, you know, if you're an experienced hunter, sometimes the area that you hunt in, you may have seen deer there all summer long, but it may not produce a thing for you during deer season. So I like to scout new territory and check it out to see, you know, what's in the new territory. And maybe you can go in between, you know, the hunt from where you was going to hunt and it's not producing anything. You might go somewhere to your, like this right here, a new place, and you might have good luck. So that's one of the reasons I like to do this. And another thing is you just never know when you will need. So you guys, I'm following along, since I used the map to see where this is, I'm following along the top of a ridge right here. We ain't even started to go up the mountain yet. You can see that this is straight down in a gorge right here. And I'm seeing all kind of bear sign here, so who knows? We may run upon this bear. There's supposed to be one in here with cubs. So you never know what we will see. Of course, there's all kind of blowdowns from the hurricane last year. Those are all over the place. You can see down in there. You can see those trees that are laying down. All those were blown down by the hurricane. So we're going to go straight up the mountain here just in a few minutes. One thing about it, you can see the millions of feet of timber that's been torn down by the storm in here. I'm pretty sure at one time that this land right here, you guys, was cleared because it's just too clean on the ground in here. And we're in the mountain, but you see how clean this is? This was once open farmland right here, I'm pretty sure. This was grazed, probably even farmed. So far, you all, it's like walking through a park. It just in this particular section right here. The woods are really clean. There's really not anything in here for deer to really browse on. But here's somebody's old hunting shelter right here. This is the kind that I build. This looks like something I done. It's hard to tell how old that is right there too. Well, I'm not halfway there yet, you guys, but so far the walking has been very easy. Looking at the map really paid off, especially when you turn it on the topo map. I found this ridge right here. This ridge actually runs right into the butt of the mountain before it just turns straight up. If I hadn't have done it that way, I would right now be coming up some really, really steep ground. So if you don't know how to use Google Maps and things like that, teach yourself how to do it. So almost anywhere in the world now, you can find yourself on Google Earth. You know, you'd have to be sharing your location with them to find yourself, but it's very easy to do that. So I'm pleased with this hike. I haven't, like I said, I've never been in here before. So I'm finding my way straight up the ridge that I looked at. All right, you all, I'm at the end of this ridge, and you can actually see on that map right there, guys, the actual ridge. Now you see the dropped pin? That's where we're going. The blue dot is me. And I'm standing right on. Let me see if I can turn that on to topo and get it to work. May not do it. So there's the satellite view, okay? So what I done when I looked at the map was I put this flag right here. That's my starting point. I know that I want to go there because I marked that particular spot. So that's where we're headed. And now if you take a look right down there, we're at the end of this particular ridge. We're going to go straight across this and start straight up to the top of the mountain. Look at the chicken of the woods, you guys. Wow. Nice. All right, now you all, I'm starting up the straight up part of the mountain. This is what I call the butt of the mountain. Here's what I missed. If I hadn't guided myself with the map, I would still be struggling through all this terrain here, or this terrain over here. But since this ridge that I started on just continues right straight on up to the top of the mountain, we're just going to follow this ridge because I've done looked at the map and I know that it drops off on both sides all the way up through there. Does a bear do it in the woods? You bet he does. All right, you all, I can tell just for the look of this land right here that I'm walking on. Even at this distance right here, it's just like walking through the park. Now it's on an incline, and in just a few minutes we'll be starting up the straight up part. But what I like about this is the pioneers farmed this land right here I'm standing on. I don't know who it was, but I just come across a fence corner down there where they had it fenced off. So I know that all this was grazed and probably planted in crops at one time until they got to the straight up part, which is 100 yards that direction right there. Look at this deep canyon over here. Stay with that map and you will come out on top easy as pie. All right, you all, looking at my watch. My watch says I've made 3,174 steps. That ain't nothing, you all. 9/10 of a mile. So, we're right here at the very straight up part. It'll be climbing from here on out. Not for flatlanders who are used to running around on their stinking four-wheeler. Just give you a perspective, you guys. We was at the bottom of this mountain. Over there is the top of a round mountain. We're getting ready to be level with it there just in a few minutes. This is what the terrain looks like now. It's literally straight up. All right, you all, I'm not to the top yet. This last part of it is definitely a challenge. I haven't heard anything up here but a Sasquatch. Not one deer, one bear, no nothing, just one Sasquatch. And I'm expecting to see Jimmy Newton popping up out of the trees here somewhere pretty soon. I looked at the map a minute ago. We're at 3,500 feet in elevation. So we should be getting close to the top of the mountain. But the challenge of going up this ridge right here is it is literally straight up. So I have to zigzag back and forth. And that, you know, that's going to take longer because even if you're only zigging 10 yards and 10 yards and 10 yards, you're still not rising in elevation. So let's go on and see what we can find. Definitely paid to look at the map, you all. I come to the very end of this ridge right here. All the time you can see the skyline and you think you're getting close to the top. I got to go down again and then up again to get to the top of the mountain. Here's a deep gorge, and over here's a deep gorge. Just exactly the way it shows it on the topo map. So it looks to me like I've got another 1/4 of a mile to climb before I get to the top of this mountain. All right, you guys, we're still heading on that 330 degrees heading. The last part of it, you guys, is a walk in the park. Look how clean this mountain is in here. Look at that. Right there is the top of the mountain, you guys. It's about 110, maybe 150 yards away. Right there it is, and that's where we're going to stop, right on top of the mountain. So let's get up there and take a break. I'm at the top of this mountain. Yay! Let me find a place to sit down here before the battery dies in this Hero camera. I'll check out and see how close I come to the location that I had marked on this mountain, you guys. So hang on there just a couple of minutes. So you all, if I see anything else that's interesting, I'm going to head back off of the mountain now. What I'm going to do is I've got this place marked on the map, okay? I was within 111 feet of that exact mark where I come out on top of the mountain here. I will consider this moderate at first, and of course strenuous at the last part of the hike, because the last half a mile is pretty much just straight up, okay? But I'm glad I did it. I've never seen a mountain yet that I didn't want to hike. And if I start on a hike to the top of the mountain, I never stop until I get to the top of that mountain. This morning, I never ate any food, so I'm not food heavy. I'm not, you know, I've got calories to burn that I ate last night, so all I brought with me was a bottle of water. By the way, I never found any water coming up this mountain whatsoever. This is a good place to hunt because all your nocturnal deer, old timers that'll die of old age, live on top of this mountain right here. They live in this range. But I did see plenty of bear sign. And like I said, I also heard a Sasquatch. With that, you all, climb yourself a mountain. Take your map, check it out before you go, measure it with Google Earth. You can measure anything now. From point A to point B, turn on your topo, look at it, see what the terrain looks like. That way, if you do that, you won't be going down in canyons that you don't want to go down into, because believe you me, if I hadn't mapped this, I'd still be climbing this mountain. With that, you all, may the good Lord bless you. Until next time, so long for now.